Okay, I promise you I'm not going to in any way bore you. This is also overwhelming. I always think of weddings as, with my sister when she got married 25 years ago, and she was a nervous wreck. She's a pretty chill pill. She turned into Bridezilla. And so I'm hoping that maybe today we're going to help you not to do that. I'm going to talk about wedding cake or alternatives. What should we do? The thing that I think you guys have got to know is that this is your big day, and I think no matter what anyone says, what is really important is that it's about you two, your life partner, and that you do what makes sense to you guys, and don't worry about what anyone else thinks, because everybody has an opinion. Trust me, and you're gonna learn that. Even people who didn't have an opinion ever will now all of a sudden have an opinion. And I'm sure you're experiencing this right now. I think the best thing to do is, and I always said this to my sister, and I think it's still relevant today, is it's just a big party, have fun. And I think that's what it comes down to with cakes. Wedding cake traditionally was fruit cake, royal icing, decorated. And now you have things that look like the Taj Mahal and sort of, and it goes on and on and on. And yes, it only costs $10,000. And this is something that's going to be eaten within a half an hour, or someone's going to take and freeze for 5 years and then realize I can't eat it anymore, and then that's the end of it. Is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. I think what people are fighting more and more is, and we're certainly getting it at Oliver Bonacini. Oh, I should kind of sort of say that. Oh, I already did say Oliver Bonacini. That's me. I'm the culinary stylist for them, and it allows me to have fun, and I play with chocolate. Hence, I've given you all a little bit of chocolate, because everybody needs a sugar rush in the afternoon, and I'm your guy, okay? I think what's important is with weddings and the dessert, I'm finding more and more people want the tradition of the ceremony of the cutting of the cake. And I think it's fine. We've had clients who've done it with a scoop of ice cream. We've done it with a cupcake. We've done it with what I call the top tier, which is the top thing that has the man and wife thing or whatever you want on it. And I think that's kind of fun. It usually sort of kind of alleviates mom or mother-in-law of, okay, they've cut something, and they can have that picture. But I find more and more people are like, I don't like cake, or I don't like, and I think it's all right. And I think sometimes weddings are very overwhelming from start to finish. Like I said, if you're not used to doing a party of 8, now all of a sudden you got to do 200, and you're going to make them love it for the rest of their lives, right? Because everybody wants their wedding to be remembered till everybody dies, right? And passed down to each generation. That was the best wedding I ever had, right? So the pressure is just maybe a little bit, and so it can be daunting. I just want you to remember that it's about you two, and keep it like that. And this is where I'm going to, so I'll give you the first, these are the hot trends. Donut towers, and all things donut. And that means, filling your own jelly donut. So you have jelly donuts, we have piping bags, we're like, you like a Boston cream pie? This is beautiful French vanilla pastry cream, and it's better than that. And it's all things like that. Chocolate mousse, it's everything. Raspberry, the jams, all homemade, of course. It's the OB method. But there's that, and then you have towers, and then you have, so if people want to engage themselves, if people don't want to engage themselves, you kind of have this mixed thing. I'm finding in total trends, whether it's cocktail hour, dessert, late night, people want a bit of theater. I think we can safely say whether you're into food or not. I think most people know more understanding about food and how it works. And weddings, the pressure on weddings now is so ridiculous. But I think at the end of the day, everybody wants to have fun. They want to learn something. So you can have things like someone teaching about whiskey for the men and cigars if you're having like an outdoor event. You can have sort of a wine tester there. It's all about a little bit of theater, and I think that sort of adds to it. So whether it's cocktail hour and you have someone doing a ceviche station and, cutting up all this meat and mixing all these different things. It's a bit of theater. People like it. It kind of makes the sort of day go on, or that hour while you're frantically getting pictures done and or changing or whatever and thinking, is everybody getting bored? There's some interaction, and I think you're finding that more and more across the board, and we're finding more and more people wanting that. Whether a big or small wedding, it doesn't really matter. I think it's just giving something that's slightly unique to your day. I had a couple who were coming to meet me about chocolate, about a favor, and they wanted chocolate because they love chocolate, and they wanted truffles, and they couldn't decide on how many and whatever, and they were saying to me how much they hated actually cake, and especially wedding cake. And I said, well, why are you having it? And they're saying, well, everybody, my mother's like, you got to have it. My mother-in-law wants to pay for the cake, and, blah, 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 and it just goes on. And of course, what happens is no one wants to offend anyone. And when I get that. But I said to them, well, I'm going to play, cog on the wheel a little bit here and sort of say, don't have wedding cake. But you love chocolate and you love truffles and you're deciding about it, so why don't you have a truffle wedding cake? And that's exactly what they did. But they didn't have one. They had two. They had and then they had a tiered truffle one, all made out of chocolate. And they were able to cut it. Mom was kind of happy, although it took her a while. Of course, I like to think as soon as she tasted it, she was like, okay, I'm on board. But what I'm saying is they wanted something, and just through asking them the questions, because it can be daunting. And we're very blessed. We have like almost 30 event specialists, and that's what they're there for. They're there to sort of ask you what you want and everything. But sometimes it's kind of daunting to find out what you want, because you're not really sure half the time, and we get that. But we're more about flavors and ideas, and what is it you and your partner love, and is there a special moment, and this is what I always try and draw to people for, like, favors and all that, because I think it should always be a reflection of you too. And you're not going to probably please everybody, but you know what? Don't care. It is about your day, and it should be exactly how you want it. And if they're really genuine people that know you and love you and whatever, they're going to say, oh my God, that was so them, right? From start to finish. And I think that's what we all want. And I think that's memorable, because it's a reflection of your two journey together, and now that you're going to spend the rest of your life together. So I think that's very important. So, trends. I said the donut. The other one is instant ice cream bar, or a sundae bar. And liquid nitrogen, the smoke, it looks amazing. People have fun with it. And people are enjoying this much more than sort of a wedding cake. And it is fun. It's a little bit of theater. We usually do sort of like a 3-tier ice cream bar thing, sort of make our own little sort of, ice cream cake that they can cut or scoop, however they like to do it. And I think that's fun. It works well if there's a young crowd. And I think that's another way of sort of making that balance, We've had people who are just like, we don't like cake. We're not really, we like ice cream. We always have an ice cream on the weekends. That's how we always, when we went to date, we always finished up with having an ice cream. And so what about ice cream? And they kind of loved it. But we went through the night thing. We had sort of like 14, different sauces. We had a plethora of toppings and whatever. And it was fun. And we had different sized dishes. So everybody could have whatever size they wanted. And I think it's doing those sort of things that slightly out of the box, but something that can resonate to everybody that you two love to enjoy, that maybe people don't even know about, We had a couple that did not like sweet anything. They were savory people. They liked their wine. They're really into their wines. They did not want. So we did a cheese wedding cake, which is really successful. And literally, it's whole pieces of cheese. And it can run expensive if you like, if you like Parmesan, getting that baby on the bottom, that's about a $400, So they can be just as expensive as the sweet stuff. But you know what? It looks amazing. You have lots of crackers and different breads and chutneys and olives and pickles and whatever to go with that, and it goes really well. A lot of people are doing that as well as as a cocktail hour thing, putting a cheese wedding cake just to sort of, cement that yes, you're at a wedding, and you got a savory sort of tower here of cheese. I think it looks kind of impressive, and it can be a lot of fun. Everybody always enjoys it. It's one of the most things that are taken pictures of because people aren't expecting it. And I think that, again, just brings on to anything else. It's whatever people aren't expecting, people really love. So we had people who were like, every Saturday morning we have peanut butter sandwiches. Okay, so we did little brioche. I mean, you can change everything up. What I'm saying, everything is possible. And these sort of things are really fun. So donut towers are big this year. Instant ice cream with the nitrogen. Everybody has that sort of Puff the Magic Dragon because they eat it and it sort of comes out of your nostrils and it's fun. And if you have a young crowd or like lots of kids, they're running around like, banshees going, oh my God, Mom, look at this, I can smoke. And, it's kind of funny. For me personally, though, I like to see grandma, go like, that's much more fun than the kid, right? But it creates a memorable moment on your day that people will always talk about. And I think that's what we all want, basically. We want people just to enjoy themselves. So, and the third thing that's really big is, it's the truffle sort of wedding cakes, an alternative, but to something that's traditional, donuts, the ice cream, and the one that I've been getting quite a lot. And I must say, over the few months, I've morphed it more and more. Because I get all the event people asking me, okay, they want this, what do we do? How can we do it? Blah, 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 blah. And I sort of come up with solutions. And the one that we've been talking about is they love pie. And I thought, pie tiers? No, that would look odd. How would you do that? What sort of contraption, And then I sort of thought, well, I said, tell me about the couple, and they both came from rural Ontario, different parts. They both live in the city. They both have, love that sort of country lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. Will probably, when they have kids, move outside of Toronto, blah, blah. And I thought, okay. So I thought church, church table, religious or not, but there's always a fair or something in every these farm communities or whatever. So, and that's exactly what we did. Big pig and all the rest, right? So I just did a table of every different type of pie imaginable. We did about 10 different pies, and we did even mini pies, and we did a pie that they could cut. And we Mr. and Mrs. on it in pastry, and you just have to have fun with it. And the other thing that we did, and this was a really nice way of melding the two families. So for him, existence, he always remembered his aunt's peach pie. They had peach trees. Every time he went to his aunt's farm, he always had peach pie. So we put, Aunt Jessica's peach pie, and we put everybody's from the different families, what their mother-in-law, gain, brownie points, and put their label and their name on the pies that we made for them. And it was, again, they kind of felt proud. That's my pie. They didn't make it, but I mean, they got recognized that, they're a pie. And it kind of melts. I know it seems really stupid, but, they kind of like, that's my pie, and, do you like my pie? It's my name on it. That's, and it worked, is what I'm saying. So, sometimes the simple things is the biggest bang for your buck, And I think if you have a great event team working for you, they will certainly make, it work and try to make your dream come true, and this is what we try to do. I don't know if all the pictures are, are they all showing? So these are just sort of different things. There's one on there that we did it at a jazz club, and that's the ice cream machine. You can't really see it, but he does have, on the smaller one, he has smoke coming out like Puff the Magic Dragon. That's why I picked that one, because I thought it was quite funny, because all you can see is, it doesn't really show very well, but that's her reaction of like, oh my God, you look like you're, there we go. There's again, it's a bit of theater, and I think everybody likes this. We did one where they were both artists, and I did a whole art station. So there is some pictures of where there's in frames bark that are being painted like a Cindy Pollack. And there we go. So that's all edible. It's chocolate art. So it's different layers all there, but it's colored with colored cocoa butter. And what we also had, and I don't know if they've got the picture there, we had a table, and what we made was shortbread biscuits, rectangular like a frame. And we had gold framed, so we outlined it with a royal icing, you know, and did scroll works. And then we did a modern one, and we sort of painted it with like gold and silver as the frame. And then we actually had tubes that we filled with mango puree and raspberry and black licorice and dark chocolate and milk chocolate and creme pat. And people were able to make their own art on their biscuit and then eat it. And that was huge with the kids. They actually had a lot of kids there. They were a young couple, and there was a young family. So there wasn't a lot of older people there. So it went down really well with the kids, kind of kept them busy. It was a mess to clean up, I'll just say that. But you know what? They had a lot of fun. We also had some stuff that was like here where they could pick off of. But if they wanted to make, they could. And I think that's what it's about, you know? So those are sort of the big trends that are happening. At the end of the day, whatever you have as an idea, or that I think it should always come from you two. Because regardless of anything, it is your day. It should be a reflection of you two. And everybody else will come on board on that because you are being true to both yourselves and what you know. And that's it. And there's chocolate on the seats because I play with chocolate, and why not? And we have a little bag of truffles up here as well that you can take home. Because again, why not? I hope I've given you some insight and a little bit of, you know, think outside the box. It's fine. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer. And that's it, really. Thank you.
That was pure food porn. I'm listening to it. I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. You must love your job.
I do. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it is fun. Every day is different, and that makes it fun. And the great thing for me is that, and I want to say this, we are very blessed at Oliver Bonacini. You know, we've got 12 restaurants, we got 7 event spaces, we got 2 resort venues, and outside catering. We can literally do 2 people to 20,000. And what is great is, and I'll give you an example, I'm Ukrainian background. And we have people who want pierogies, or Ukrainian we call it purehe, station. And I'm like, yeah, I'll put that together. I know exactly what they want, but they're homemade and they're fresh. We don't buy them frozen. We don't buy them from, you know. And we're really blessed that way. You know, we had an Indian wedding with a Western wedding. They wanted very much sort of a melding of both cultures for their menu. Well, it happens that we have a really great chef who happens to be Indian, and he just knocked it out of the park working with our event chef, and they together, you know, created something that is exactly what they wanted. And so we're blessed in that way. We've got a plethora of fantastic talent. And that's where I come in. You know, it's working with people saying, okay, I've got this idea, and we churn out these different ideas, and it's so rewarding because it's fun to, you know, not egg each other on, but you know, someone says something and someone else says something, and you're like, oh my God, yeah, this will really work. Let's play with this, and so it's in that way it's very fun, and we're very unique in that way that we have that to tap into as a company. So yeah, I feel blessed. I do. Yeah. Well, anyway, listen. Good luck, and I hope you all have a fabulous day. I'm sure you will. I just would like to say is just really be true to yourselves. Think of it as a party, and don't be swayed by other people. You know, believe what you guys want to do, and make it that it's a part of you and not someone else. You know, it's your day, so enjoy.
Thank you, Paul.